Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make these gluten-free apple fritters. I've been making these for quite some time. They are unbelievable, you guys. They are filled with apples, intertwined with the dough that is just like any bakery style apple fritter you could ever have. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by making the glaze, and I like to do this ahead of time because I want to have it ready for as soon as the apple fritters come out of the fryer. And to make the glaze, it's just a couple of ingredients: powdered sugar, melted butter, milk, and vanilla. Now, the reason I use melted butter is so it gives that Krispy Kreme style, like very thin, crackly glaze to it without making it a really hard glaze on the outside, a really hard and thick glaze. I just love this glaze. I use it for my donuts as well. So I'll leave a link for my donuts if you haven't seen that video. So we dump out the dough onto our counter, floured counter. Now this is the very same dough that is used for my cinnamon rolls, my donuts. It's just a really versatile dough. So many things can be made with this dough. Now, right now I'm only using half the dough. So you know me, I like to do half one thing and then leave the rest in the fridge to make something else. And we'll go ahead and roll this to 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. You don't have to be precise because you'll see why in a little bit. We're going to put the apples on top though. The apple mixture is really easy. I made it the day before. You don't have to make it the day before, but as long as it's not hot or warm going on top of the cool dough, that's best. So to make the apple mixture, you just melt some butter with cinnamon, brown sugar, and the chopped peeled apples in a skillet or a saucepan. And cook this until the apples are kind of softened, about 10 to 15 minutes or so. And then we're going to put them on top of one side of the dough and fold it over. I like to sprinkle it with a little extra flour just to give it a little bit of thickness when they're going in so that they'll stay put and not just all run out. So now this, you don't have to be precise at all. You can really mix it up. But what I'm doing is I'm cutting it diagonally one way into strips. And then I'm going to cut it the opposite way into little cubes. And that just creates the apple fritter texture that we know and love. It's kind of like dough apple intertwined, and that's what makes fritters so good. So now that we've broken this all up, we'll kind of piece it back together. Seems ridiculous, but that's how these work. And then just cut them off, chunks of it off. You don't have to be precise in this, and kind of push them together and make a fritter. And once you've cut them all up, put them on a parchment lined baking sheet, cover them with plastic wrap, and let them sit for 20 to 30 minutes or so while you preheat your oil. I like to have my oil at a lower temperature, around like 330 or so. If you go much higher than that, then what's going to happen is they're going to get really dark on the outside and not completely done on the inside. And these will take about 2 to 3 minutes to cook through, flipping them over halfway through cooking. So when they're all done, put them on a wire rack over the parchment lined baking sheet and dip each one into the glaze. And the glaze looks thick right now, but because the fritters are nice and warm, it's going to, a little bit will seep in, but the rest of it will just kind of run off, and you'll be left with this perfectly thin, crackly, but not too hard glaze. Just like if you were to get these from a bakery. I'm telling you, you have got to make these. They are insanely good, you guys. So easy. All the recipes will be linked in the description box, including the recipe for my bread flour blend. Enjoy!